Good morning, Stewart's Chapel. Brother Don Pierson here, and Don Counts, and we're at the Walkers, and we're looking at Jeff Walker's Pride and Joy. Now, you would thought this would have been Velva, but it's not Velva. It's his 1940 Chevy. Actually, this was Kay McCauley's father's vehicle. Pretty neat inside and pretty neat on the outside. Hey, let's turn over to James chapter 1, verse 13. We're only going to do one verse again today. And we're continuing this idea of relationship to temptation. So here it is. Let no one, that means me, that means you. Let no one, especially Christians, let no Christian, whether you're of the opinion that bad things happen to bad people, or you are of the opinion that bad things happen to good people, either way, no one is to say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to give you a synopsis, a summary of this particular man's theology, and let's see if you can figure it out. This man went to prison for what he did. What he did, if I told you what he did, was pretty horrific. The man's out, and several years ago I was visiting the man in the hospital. Somebody had asked me to visit him in the hospital. And as I'm visiting, he just starts talking. Now, he doesn't know how much I know, but evidently he thought I knew everything, so he started telling me everything that had done. And then he said this with incredible confidence, that he had no choice. He had no choice to do the horrific things that he had done. You know why? Well, it was fate. God had ordained it. God had predetermined that he would go that path, and that there was no way that he could resist it. Well, basically what he was saying was the horrific things he did was because of God. Well, let me tell you something. There's nothing in this book that would cause an individual to believe that. But there is something deep in the heart of man that seeks to get away from the responsibility of their wickedness, of their evil, of their sin. Because you see, if a man accepts that they are wicked and evil, that they are sinful, then man must look for a solution. This particular man decided his solution was to blame God. Some people blame others. Some blame the government or whatever, their wives, their husbands, their children, on and on and on. Sometimes parents. The truth is, you and I do what we do because of us, because of who we are. We are fallen individuals, fallen from the time of Adam. And we are, it's called, in theology, it's called innate. There is an innate desire presence in us that is evil. What that means is there is something in man ever since the fall of Adam that is bent towards sin. So no matter who you are, no matter how much sin you do, how bad it is, no one can blame God for their temptation. God cannot be tempted by evil himself, and God doesn't tempt anyone. Did you hear that? He himself doesn't tempt anyone. So that would mean you or me. The truth is that scripture is basically saying, before he goes any farther, we're responsible. You see, we live in a culture that if you go to, and you have to even be careful with Christian counselors, but if you go to your average counselor or psychiatrist today, they're going to want you to tell your story. And then they're going to look back at you and they're going to assure you and encourage you that the things you're doing are because of your past experience, and you shouldn't feel so bad about that because you're not responsible. It's interesting, the Bible doesn't do that. The Bible holds all of us responsible. But here's the amazing thing that the Bible does. It doesn't just hold us responsible. God chooses to take on that responsibility by becoming man. We call that Jesus, giving his life, raising from the dead. In other words, God came to deliver us, to save us from all the garbage that we have done. Love you, Stewart's Chapel.